Tony Scott with bnetTv. We are here at the Wi-Fi World Summit in Barcelona for 2012. I am speaking with Maviner's Mr. Mada Jagernauth. How are you today, sir?
Doing great, Tony. How are you today?
Very well, my friend. Thank you very much. So, fantastic conference. Wi-Fi becoming so much more important than just a regular home system for people to log into or in a hotel. So much more infrastructure is dependent upon it now. Let's talk about what you spoke about on your panel this morning.
Yeah, so what we're talking about is about a seamless service delivery. So there's a continuing disaggregation of the access layer from the services layer, especially with LTE coming in. So you see with the evolution to IMS, where voice, video, and messaging will all be delivered over an IMS system, it doesn't really matter what the access layer is. It could be LTE, could be Wi-Fi, could be HSPA. And that's the thing, as we look at the importance of Wi-Fi, it really is about being one more access layer that someone can use to access the services they really want.
So what are some of the inherent issues, though, with onloading and offloading to Wi-Fi, where some of the carriers or operators haven't fully adopted that scale yet?
So part of it is the user has to gain access to the network. Otherwise, it stays on the 3G network. So the users, depending on where they are, can get the access that they're looking for. The phones are smart enough to register automatically to these networks now. So a lot of it is going to be outside of the control of the operator per se, and to some extent in the hands of the end users as well. But once an end user is connected to their network of preference, they should be able to get their services.
Madden, where does Maviner fit within this whole ecosystem?
So what we do is we provide the IMS core and the application servers that run on the IMS core. So the voice application server, MMTEL server, the video server, and the rich messaging servers that deliver these communications, enhanced communication services. So for example, here in Barcelona, while I am here, I have my cell phone from the United States. I'm connected to the Wi-Fi network here in the hotel. So all of the calls I make are being run as standard calls I'd make anywhere in the United States. They're tariffed the same way. So anyone who calls me will reach my phone here in Barcelona. I will not have to pay international roaming charges for that.
So is that something that, this is obviously not an over-the-top application that you're using on your phone, it's just your regular number?
Well, it's a regular number, right? It's closely, here's the phone, right? It's closely integrated into the phone. So it's a standard smartphone Android device, and it's a dialer that's in there. It's integrated with lawful intercept, with emergency services. All of the call forward, call wait, call hold, all of that works seamlessly. The person, anybody trying to reach me does not have to know if I'm on net or off net or where in the world I am, right?
You can hide well.
They can just reach me. and I can just make phone calls as I normally would.
So okay, let's talk about that just sort of briefly as a good endpoint. Is that a service that inevitably the carrier has to, or the phone manufacturer or OS has to integrate within the OS?
So it's a combination of things. It's a whole ecosystem has to run together. So the service provider has to work with the device manufacturer to get appropriate clients made, and the clients have to have the ability to terminate on Wi-Fi or terminate on LTE. So when we, and you may have seen the press release that we did recently of the voice over LTE launch with Metro PCS, that was an end-to-end integration of many vendors, and we were providing the systems integration role for that particular customer. It was our core network with somebody else's RAN network, client devices from a third party, and it was the definition came from the operator, but we had to work together as a set of providers to Metro PCS to make it all work.
I am going to ask one last question, although I can continue to do this for a long time, as you well know, and I know that you can too. So how does the customer inevitably know, the consumer inevitably know that this particular asset is available?
So from a from the perspective of the service provider, it depends on whether they want to highlight it or not.
Okay.
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 So in the case of the introduction of voice over LTE, it's just a voice service, so it doesn't really matter to the end user whether they're running over circuit or packet, right? It's just voice. They want the phone call to go through. Yeah, that's right. In the case of voice over Wi-Fi, there's an incremental thing to say, well, if you connect on Wi-Fi, you will get some benefits in some way, right? And knowing that a particular phone has the capability for voice over Wi-Fi is something I think that's important for operators to communicate.
I would tend to agree with you. It would inevitably increase their ARPU by gaining more customers as opposed to increasing their ARPU through more billing.
Well, yeah, it's making the quality of experience better, make the ability for the user to gain the service that they want, when they want it, where they are, in a very seamless way.
Madden, always a pleasure to speak with you. Always a pleasure to speak with somebody from Maviner. Great conference, and apparently we'll get to do it again in a few weeks.
In a few weeks in Las Vegas, yeah.
Fantastic. I've been speaking with Maviner's Mada Jagernauth. I am Tony Sklar here at the Wi-Fi World Congress Summit in Barcelona 2012 with bnetTv.